is freshly washed and exfoliated. The only thing I have on my face right now are my lash extensions. So the first step in achieving a glowing look is making sure that your face is very moisturized. Right now I'm applying a good amount to my skin because it's also going to be acting as my primer to my foundation. So the second step is applying a luminous finish foundation. The foundation that I'm using today is Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation in shade number 6 if you're curious. Applying your foundation with a damp beauty blender helps give you the look of a very natural and flawless finish, which is exactly what we want for this look. So next I'm going to be going in with NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in shade Medium Custard, and I'm just going to be applying this underneath my eyes as well as my highlight areas. And then again, I'm just going to be going in with my damp beauty blender and making sure that that is all blended out. Next, you'll see that I'm going to go in and set my concealer, and for that I used MAC's Mineralized Skin Finish in shade Light. You'll notice that I don't set my foundation yet. When you use a foundation that has like a luminous or dewy finish, it's a lot more liquidy. So if you go in right away with powder while it's still wet, the powder is going to absorb into the foundation and it's going to make your foundation look a lot more cakey, which obviously is not what you want. But if you give your foundation some time to set before applying powder, you're going to get a much more natural finish. So now I'm going in and I'm filling in my brows, and for this I'm going to be filling them in as natural as possible. So for the beginning of my brows, I'm using an Anastasia felt tip pencil and applying it as lightly as I can. So next I'm going to be using Anastasia's Brow Pomade Gel in medium brown to fill in the outer arch of my eyebrows. Because my brows are a lot thinner in that area, I'm using the pomade because I can get a much fuller look as opposed to using the felt tip. And then of course I'm just going to be setting my brows with, of course, an Anastasia product because she really is the queen of brows, and I'm just using their brow gel for that. So now I'm taking an Urban Decay Naked Basics 2 palette, which is my favorite. I use it every single day and I don't think I've ever not used it on a client. So I'm going in with the 2 lightest shades and I'm just putting that on my brow bone and in the inner corners of my eye. Now I'm taking the 2 light brown shades with a big fluffy blending brush, and again I'm applying that lightly but on my crease. This is basically just to give a little bit more definition before we go in and define it, but then on a flat shader brush you'll see that I'm using again the 2 light brown colors, and I'm just placing that on the lower lash line. So now I'm actually going to go in with NARS Laguna Bronzer, and with a more precise blending brush I'm putting that into my crease. I love how warm and like slightly shimmery this bronzer shade is, so I tend to use it on my eyes a lot because I just like the effect that it gives. So now I'm going in with a flat shader brush, and again Laguna by NARS, and I'm doing the same thing and just applying that on my lower lash line. So now I'm going in with MAC's highlighter, Soft and Gentle, and I'm just going to be using the same brush I used to highlight with my eyes earlier and just tapping that onto my eyelid. Next I'm going to be going in and softly lining my eyes with a gel liner, and this one that I'm using is by Clinique. It's my favorite. Not only is it the most inexpensive, but it also lasts the longest. It never dries out. So as you can see, that's just very subtle and soft. Now I'm going in with a NARS beige pencil, and I'm just going to be lining my lower waterline with this, and it's really going to brighten up my eyes. And as you can see, I'm using a beauty blender with that so I don't smudge my concealer. Now going in with my two favorite mascaras at the moment, the pink CoverGirl one and of course L'Oreal's Voluminous, and I'm just heavily coating my lashes. Now with MAC's Mineralized Skin Finish Powder in medium dark, I'm just barely tapping that into the product and setting my face very lightly because I don't want to take away from the luminous finish of the foundation. Then next, using NARS Laguna for its actual purpose as bronzer, I'm just going to be very lightly warming up my face. And then I'm also going to be taking the bronzer lightly down on my neck just to make sure that all of my skin looks glowing and warm and healthy. And then I'm going to be going in with more of like a precise angled brush, again with Laguna, but then just further defining my cheekbones. And then next, with whatever's left on that brush, I'm just going to be kind of slightly contouring my nose. So now you can see I'm taking my stippling brush and I'm just going to be using a coral cream blush and applying that to the apples of my cheek. So I'm avoiding using powder as much as possible because I really want to keep that glowing dewy effect, so that's why I'm using a cream blush as opposed to a powder one. Now I'm going in with MAC's Soft and Gentle highlighter, and this is really what's going to finish off that look and give it a very glowy effect. And I'm just applying this to the top of my cheekbones, slightly down my nose, my chin, and then with that highlighter brush, again, I'm going to be placing a bit onto my Cupid's bow. Now to finish off the look with my favorite part, which is lips, I'm taking MAC's Subculture Lip Liner, which as you can see is so close to my natural lip color. I love it. That's really what you want for this look, something pretty like nude and pink and natural. And then I'm taking MAC's Hue Lipstick, which is just like, again, a very like light nudie pink color that finishes very shiny and creamy, but I love gloss, so I'm actually going to put a gloss over top of that, and the one I'm using today is Bonnabelle Lip Gloss in Vanilla Swirl. So that's it for my soft and glowing makeup tutorial. Here's just a closer look at the makeup, but I really hoped you guys like it. This is my first official video, so please support me by subscribing if you would like to see more. Thanks again so much for watching.